Okay, on number 1, we're going to set up a WKU, and we're going to do our miles over minutes. So if you traveled 25 miles in 20 minutes, how far would he travel in 1 hour? So we need 1 hour as 60 minutes. So we need it to be how far he traveled in 60 minutes. So for this, I'm going to scale up because I can see that 20 times 3 can get me 60, so I can do 25 times 3 to get x equals 75 miles. So on number 2, we're going to set up the same WKU. So we have our miles over minutes. Okay, so Ms. Hopkins traveled for 30 minutes and she went 30 miles. We want to know how far she would travel in 1 hour, which we know is 60 minutes. So I'm going to do the same thing I did a second ago and scale up because I know 30 times 2 will get me 60. So I can do the same thing here to find x to be 60 miles. And both of these are per minute or per hour. So then, who drove faster, Mr. B or Ms. Hopkins? We can see that Mr. B drove faster. So on number 4, we have Miss Ship bought 1.5 pounds of candy for $14. What did she pay for a pound for the candy? So we're going to set up our WKU. And we're going to do cost over pounds. Okay, so Miss Ship, she bought 1.5 pounds for $14. So we want to know per 1 pound, how much did she pay? So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and just cross multiply and divide. So I have 1.5 x equals 14. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1.5 to get x by itself. And then we'll have x equals 9.33 repeating. So that would be rounded to $9.33 per pound. Okay, looking at number 5, we have these 2 rectangles and we need to find x. So if we set up our WKU, okay, we have base and height. So my base is the number going across the bottom, and my height is my one going up and down. So I know my base of the smaller rectangle is 5, and my height is 3. So I want to know the height of this bigger rectangle that has a base of 12.5. So I'm going to cross multiply and then divide. So when I do 12.5 times 3, I'll get 37.5 equals 5x. I'll go and divide both sides by 5 to get x by itself. So X will equal 7.5. Okay. Okay, on number 6, it's asking what is the constant of proportionality when you spend $65 on gas for 25 gallons. So our words we have, it's going to be cost per gallon. And we know we spent $65 to get 25 gallons. So we want to know how much for 1 gallon on this one. So on here, when I cross multiply, I'll get 25x equals 65, and I'll divide both sides by 25. And my x will then equal $2.60 per gallon. So on number 7, they're asking what is the price per gallon when you spend $35.85 on 15 gallons of gas. So our words, we have cost per gallon, and we know that we spent $35.85 on 15 gallons. So we want to know the cost for 1 gallon. So on here, when I cross multiply, I'll get 15x equals 35.85, and I'll divide both sides by 15, and then my x will equal $2.39 per gallon. So on number 8, it's asking if you buy a shirt at Kohl's for 15% off and the original price was $20, what is the sale price? So when I do this, I'm going to do percent of change, which is my change over original, equals percent over 100. So they're asking what the change was. So we don't know what that is. And my original price was $20. My percent of change is 15, and it's going to be over 100. So looking at this, I could scale down because I know 100 divided by 5 will get me to 20. So I could do 15 divided by 5. So I'll know my x will equal 3. But on that, I found the amount that I didn't pay. So what I have to do is take my original cost of $20 and subtract my sale cost of $3 to get $17, which is how much I would pay for it. So the other way we could look at this is if you come over here and we're going to do the change over original equals percent over 100. But instead of finding the sale percent, we're going to use our x over 20 still, but we're going to use, instead of 15, we're going to use 85 because that's the amount I'm actually paying. So if I look here, I can still scale down. So 100 divided by 5 will get me 20. So when I do 85 divided by 5, that will get me 17, which is the amount that I do pay when I buy something for 15% off. So looking at number 9, we're still doing the percent of change. So what I'm going to do is she bought the pair of pants for $17 before tax, and they want to know the original price. So that's the X that we don't know is our original price. So we spent the 17, so that's our change. And they were 20% off, so that means that she paid 80% of the cost. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 80 there, so that way I don't have to go through and subtract them like we did a second ago. So then here, I'm going to cross multiply, so I'll get 1700 equals 80x, and divide both sides by 80. So then I'll have my x will equal $21.25. That's my original cost of the pants. Okay. Oops. So looking at number 10, we're going to do our part over whole equals percent over 100. So on this first question, what is the percent of the budget is spent on the mortgage? So first what we have to do is find our part, and on the mortgage we're looking at $800. So that's our part. And then we need to find our whole. So when I find my whole amount that I'm spending on these expenses, I'll just add them up. So I get $17.50 is my whole, and that equals the percent, and that's what they're looking for, over 100. So what I'm going to do here is cross multiply and divide. So I'll get 80,000 equals 1,750x, and divide both sides. And I'll get my x to equal about 47.06%. Okay, on the second question, they're asking what percent of the budget is spent on food and groceries. So I have my food and groceries here. So that's going to be my part, my 350, and my whole is still the same. And that'll equal my percent over 100. So on here, when I cross multiply, I'll get 35,000 equals 1,750x. And I'm going to divide both sides by the 1,750. And I'll get my x to equal 20%. Okay. So then on this last one, I want to know what percent of my budget is spent on a car payment. So my car payment is here. So I'll do my part, which is my 400, over my whole of 1,750 equals my x over 100. So then when I cross multiply and divide, I'll get 40,000 equals 1,750x, and I'll divide both sides. So I'll get my x will equal 22.86%.